This American system is truly peculiar. This separation of powers system now seems to lead one to the conclusion that the power of judges is absolutely supreme, while the president's power is absolutely minimal. In other words, compared to Suyu, judges, the U.S. president almost has no power at all. What we see now is this. No matter what executive order President Trump issues or what power he exercises, as long as a judge issues an injunction, it can immediately override the president and nullify his authority. When he tried to repatriate immigrants to Venezuela, a judge said no, and it was halted. When he sought to cut spending and reduce staff at the federal agency USAID, a judge ordered it stopped, and it was halted. When he tried to send gang members to El Salvador, a judge directly ordered the plane to turn back. Had it not been a foreign country, that too would likely have been stopped. American judges now even presume to dictate to foreign presidents. This morning, a judge issued yet another restraining order, and once again, it halted President Trump's tariff policy. We observe that whether it concerns domestic or foreign affairs, whether it's the federal government itself hiring or firing personnel, or whether it's Trump pursuing any agenda, be it tax cuts, any reduction in government spending, U.S. energy development, or doing good deeds for the American people, anything a judge opposes, that judge can override the presidential order. This means the president must obey even the smallest county judge in the most obscure town, without exception. In other words, a judge can command the president, but the president cannot defy a judge. Even the most absurd, legally illiterate, principle-free, or maliciously evil judge. In practice, this example shows that the president has the least power of all. Congress holds legislative power, judges hold judicial power, and the president is supposed to hold executive power. But now it seems he has none at all. Originally, under separation of powers, the three branches were meant to be independent, unable to interfere with, override, halt, or contradict one another. But now the opposite is true. Judicial power consistently overrides executive power. Whenever a judge dislikes the president's agenda or disapproves of his governance, he can halt the president's authority. Frankly, this amounts to staging. Coup. And this coup can occur at any time, all while being perfectly legal and legitimate. At any moment, a judge can suspend the president's power, rendering him a figurehead. Theoretically, a president has a 4-year term. But if each of the nation's thousands of judges took turns blocking the president's actions just once a day, this president would accomplish nothing in 4 years. He'd spend every day fuming helplessly, his only recourse being to sue in appellate courts, and mostly losing. America's current situation is grave. Trump is determined to usher in a golden age for America. By rebalancing international trade, he aims to bring prosperity to the American people. He seeks to lift their burdens, even eliminating the increasingly heavy tax load accumulated over a century, freeing people from taxes altogether. He wants to unleash America's energy industry. If successful, U.S. oil prices would return to levels of 20 or even 50 years ago, making diesel and gasoline the cheapest in the world. This would drastically reduce the cost of all American goods. Thus, with both personal income taxes abolished and prices plummeting, the people would finally enjoy genuine prosperity. Simultaneously, Trump aims to make communities safe again by expelling foreign criminals and thugs. This would let Americans live in security, experiencing unprecedented economic prosperity. With soaring incomes and no taxes, they'd enjoy a quality of life unseen in 2 centuries. Furthermore, America would massively strengthen its military to defend the nation. Trump has vowed to end senseless foreign aid, stop sending troops abroad, to enforce democracy, which only breeds hatred and wastes American lives, and halt the spending of trillions on aid that earns global resentment. He swears never to repeat such folly. Thus, America would truly enter a golden age, safest, happiest, with jobs for all, zero taxes, historically low prices, a veritable paradise on earth. But the Democrats despise Trump's policies to the core. If he succeeds, they could never again push their evil agenda. No more biological males in women's sports. No more racist DEI policies. No more global democracy promotion. The Democratic Party would lose its grip on power forever. So now, Democratic judges are sparing no effort to sabotage Trump's executive authority and derail America's march toward prosperity. Put bluntly, their mission is to harm America, to utterly destroy Trump's agenda, to interfere with presidential power, and to wrench America back onto that dark, evil, and terrifying path, all to preserve Democratic power, profit, and corruption, letting them voraciously suck the blood and sweat of the people. However, extremes beget reversal. The original constitutional intent of separation of powers was mutual non-interference. Now, judicial power overrides executive power. Judges seize presidential authority, meddling in domestic, foreign, and even defense policy. American judges have abused this power to an absurd extreme. Therefore, the American people will not tolerate it. Congress will not tolerate it. Ultimately, Congress will pass definitive legislation to permanently end this judicial usurpation of executive power. All judges who abused their authority must face scrutiny, and they must ultimately be held accountable for the consequences of their power grabs.